This is the Alex Manassa, and today we're going to talk about something that's pretty cool. I really like this channel, Lindy Beige. I have been binging him. It's just one guy. I think he's an archaeologist, and he's got wonderful perspectives on all sorts of things. And this episode on siege ladders really, I found stimulating, right? It got the imagination working because siege ladders are a thing you don't really know that much about, right? You see it in the movies. Lindy Beige goes over it. He says how dramatic they all look and how absolutely unsafe they seem, but he makes a good point that why would anyone use a system like siege ladders if it was unsafe? And then he starts showing some of these historical pictures. Let me go through. Like this one here, as soon as it loads. Right, historical pictures, looks just like you see in the movies. All right, these are dramatic, obviously. So even the things of the time, not terribly accurate. Sometimes they're a bit artistic. That's what artists do. The artist might have just been going off a description. I don't know how many artists actually went to a battlefield to go witness, but if you try to describe a very complicated siege, it's not going to be like a police sketch artist necessarily. It might just be a soldier or noble, like a noble who's been on a hill a mile away just watching the siege, someone who's well out of crossbow range. Then describing what people a mile away did to an artist who was never there, who might only get one set of descriptions, maybe get a couple of go-arounds of like, oh, no, that's not quite right. Oh, this is a little bit different. Really, they're going to it's going to be for artistic, merit, right? It's not for accuracy, even in their own time. This picture, though, Lindy Beige shows, let's see if I can get the little bar to go away. I don't think it will. He shows down here in the corner, someone shoving a peg in, right? And he thinks that's absolutely brilliant. He shows how the ladders are sort of engineered, like how because they call them siege engineers for a reason. There are very intelligent people who manage these sieges. Let's see, you get this one here. It's a rope ladder. It's got hooks, it's got joints, all of that good stuff. I want to talk a little bit about a engineer's perspective. Let's see if there's any other good pictures. No, okay. I want to give an engineer's perspective on this one because, as an engineer, I kind of feel a certain kinship with my brethren from the olden times because an engineer is always the same. Like, we do the same things. If one noble doesn't want to buy our new siege invention, we'll just go over to the next noble over. Like, we don't care. We're just trying to make a buck. We tend to find the simplest, like the best engineers tend to find the most simple, most easily replicable solution there is. And engineers understand that progress is incremental. So here we go. Let's go ahead and make a little bit of progress here. I'm going to draw my wall. This is what I want to get over. Okay? And let's start out with what Lindy Beige had before. So what are our main challenges on this wall? Okay, so I'm just going to pop in here and do a little text. So challenges. All right, first off, we are exposed to arrows, etc. Right? Second challenge, ladder can be repelled. Okay? And speed. Time is your enemy. I feel like a siege is a little bit like a bank heist. Think of a siege a little bit like a bank heist. You have all of these different teams getting together. You have to go quick. You got to bust in there. You're fighting security. You are trying to outwit the other person. There are all sorts of tricks and traps inside of the target, right? Let's say it's a casino or something. There's guards. There's, the hallways, the way they're structured is for security. Everything about this castle is designed for security. We got to outsmart that, all right? It's a little bit like a heist. And in every heist, you have to worry about speed. Let me just make this bigger so you can see a little better. All right. So if we have speed in mind, let's go through and we're going to rank these things. We're going to rank these different approaches. Let's start with the generic approach, okay? Generic approach is I've got a ladder. I put it up. I've got my... what did Lindy Beige have? He said L... I believe L was the vertical height. No, it was the hypotenuse. Okay. So hypotenuse, half hypotenuse. So here's I'm gonna rename. Yeah, I'll just keep this as L. All right. You've got your half L. Don't worry, I'm not gonna bore you with too much math. I'm just trying to get the approach right, make it look like there's some thinking going on here. And then I guess this was W, which I guess is wall, stands for wall. Why not? Stands for why not, right? Okay. One person going up And all the little people are going to be in red, because I imagine they're going to be pretty bloodied. Get out of here, Windows. Get the bar. This little bar is supposed to hide. I don't know why it's not hiding. There we go. All right. Got your little person. They're not super psyched to be there, and there's a whole bunch of them. So everyone else is very stoic. He's got he's got something wrong with his eyes. He's got there we go. He's pretty psyched. He's pretty psyched. He's doing it. Deus Volt. Deus Volt. Deus Volt, my friend. All right, and I'm gonna give him a nice hat. I don't know, a little fun hat. And you at the very top, you're gonna have your. I imagine people got swords and shields and things. He's got a little knife. Either he's got a knife or he's doing like a karate chop motion. He's getting ready to just karate chop whoever. And that's either a shield or someone else's head. I don't know. It's gonna let you decide. So I'm not going to comment on anyone's artistic merit at this point, okay? This is what you usually see. People just going up the ladder. I mean, usually they're actually like grabbing onto the ladder, but I've just had them walking up it. You can walk up a ladder. A slope like this, you can just walk up. That frees your arms. It reduces your stability, but it does free your arms. So they're either going to walk up or they're going to climb up this ladder. Probably depending on what the enemy is doing at the time. If they're trying to repel you or something, okay, got it. Now, Lindy Beige also showed that there's a little guy here, and I'm going to just draw him. He's a working man. He's over here. He's hunched over, and he's got, he's got a little head here, and he's got his little arm like that, and a little arm like that, and he's putting a peg in. All right. And the idea of the peg, oh wow, I really butchered that peg. So the idea of the peg, he's got his little hammer. So the idea of this peg is that you fix this in place. So now this is fixed to the earth. All right. There are things in the world. I'm going to see if I can get this right. No, I don't want. Oh, wait, no, Earth Penetrator Screw. That's the one. When I was a defense contractor, this would actually get used to hold things into place. It was called an Earth Penetrator. I thought it was very funny. But pretty much what it is a gigantic screw. It's the same kind of screw you might like have in your lawn to, put your dog's leash on so they can just run around in a circle and just destroy a circle of your lawn, or dig a sphere if they want to go in 3 dimensions. Right? So they could be putting one of these bad boys in. All right, great. Okay, so this is fixed in place. Now, you could have a problem though, is that if this is your fulcrum, this spot up here is your highest leverage point. Now, all of the weight of every person on here, so I'm putting forces in blue, all of the weight of everyone on this ladder is going to hold it down, okay? So this is going to have to overcome that, or does it, right? So I'm going to talk about why this method is not necessarily good, and I'm going to talk about ways that we can make it better, all right? Now, you could fix it up top here, all right? I didn't draw that. You can have this thing have hooks on the end of it, all right? So let's just say it has a little hook, okay? So the hook is going to fix it in place. Now, the problem is that you have to own this real estate behind here. So this front wall is there, and this is the area where people are walking on. So here's the enemy. Here's the enemy. He's raising his fist to the air. He's not happy about this at all. That's what I would do. Just give him one of these. I can't get in the camera right now. Just somebody's insulting your some flyboy's insulting your homegirl. You just give him one of these. All right. You have to own this real estate right here. You have to own this real estate right here if you want to have any chance of keeping that ladder on, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to rush out, okay? And the problem is you're exposed. You're having guys getting picked off at this point. These guys might have shields, but they're exposed on at least one side with a shield. A shield only protects one side. These guys may not be that heavily armored because this ladder, although weight is helpful for us to keep that ladder anchored, it is not your friend to keeping that ladder stable in one piece, right? So there might be weight limits, okay? So what's more important? Do you want armored bodies or do you want more bodies? Well, I don't think these were nobles climbing up these ladders. I'm not sure. Maybe fact check me on that one. But if they're just peasants, I feel like they might have just thrown more bodies at them. I don't know. I could just surmise that we'd throw more bodies at them. Because if you use up all your armor in this stage, do you have a limited amount of armor? You might want to give it to the next stages because these guys have the highest chance of dying. Right? It's going to depend on what do you have more of, people or armor, in terms of proportion, like what ratio of person to armor ratio do you have? Anyways, I'm going on a little bit. You have to own this real estate, is my point. You have to own this real estate right here if you want to have any hope of keeping this castle, keeping this ladder on there. So we've got to go fast, 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 which means you're probably going to die, right? Because anytime you do anything fast, it gets worse. It gets sloppy. People make mistakes. Think of it like a heist. Think of it like a big casino heist. In a casino heist, when things are rushing around and people are running, that's usually when people get shot. And it's usually the defenders that win that, right? The defenders know how to defend their own castle. They've done drills. You can't do a mock drill of a ladder climb, right? This might be a lot of people's first ladder climb too, right? They're green. All the more reason not to give them armor. You know, all the greater chance. It turns into a bit of a downward spiral of like the rate of return of giving you better equipment goes down, you know, and your survivability goes down, and therefore it's less likely that I want to give you equipment. So, you know, nothing's working in your favor, poor ladder fellows. Like this guy on the bottom, he knows what's up. He sees it all. He's probably got a couple of friends who've already like hit it. Ugh. Oh, he's dead. He's falling down. All right. So we've got a couple of challenges here. How do you quickly own this real estate? Okay. In fact, I'm going to enumerate these because it's important to list things. All right. So solutions. Oh my gosh. Solutions does not have a 9 in it. Last I checked, right? So solutions to these problems. And this is where I come in as an engineer. So we need to gain real estate fast. So therefore, we need to be able to move quickly, get in there, right? So we need to cheaply increase survivability. My whole point here is that this ladder is useless until we can get that real estate. There's no ladder good enough that's going to save us in that case. They could just take an axe or a saw or something and just chop off the top of the ladder. Could cause a small issue. I don't know. They could start piling rocks up, like putting more bricks there to like make it so that you have to climb even. You have to like, now that you've gotten the ladder up and you've fixed it in place with that peg, now you got to go over like 4 feet of bricks or something. I don't know if that ever happened. You need to survive. If the ladder's no good if it's just a conveyor belt of death as well. So either way, we got to increase survivability. Second off, we need to cheaply and safely stabilize ladder. So time is not on your side. You got to go fast. The longer it takes for you to get people up that ladder, the more defense is going to come. So these castles, another Lindy Beige video showed that you might have like a retinue of 80 guys, maybe a few hundred. The highest population of any castle, and I don't remember, it was like I don't remember what its name was, but I believe it was like in Lebanon, somewhere in the Middle East, right? It's a Crusader castle. It had like 1,000 people, and that was unheard of, right? You're talking about really small numbers. There was Lindy Beige would know better, but there was like a castle that was defended by some queen named Mary. Some queen named Mary sounds like a punk band. And she had like 80 people or something like that. It's some very small number. I think she had like 5 at first, and then like 70 more came in. Not a lot of people. So the defense is strapped in terms of resources, which means that you have a little bit of opening in time. So how do we get people up in time, okay? And we need to do this quickly and cheaply. I don't even know, and we need to maybe even change our tactics, right? So maybe we need to move the ladder. Maybe we need to focus on making, not so good ladders, but just more ladders, right? So here's what I'm going to propose. So I'm going to erase this pretty picture of mine. There we go. There we go. See if Windows can keep up with me. Come on, Windows. There we go. Get our wall back. We need a wall to surmount. Put a little area back here where people are going to walk around. What I want to do is with this ladder, I want to, first off, I'm going to put it here. I have no problem with the distances, right? I have no problem necessarily with the distances, but what you got to realize is that you might also have water features, right? That is going to play a role. Let's say that we got the worst case scenario. We've got a water feature, so we are in the middle of a water feature. Let's say that we've got, it's a tall wall. I'm not really going into the dimensions here. Let's say that you have the defense like right, they're coming. So you got to move fast, okay? And you could drill this. You could drill what I'm about to show you. I would take your group of guys. All right. On the left and on the right. So I'm going to draw a top down. So here's the top-down view. Is, I got one ladder man on the right. He's got a shield. He's got a head. I've got one ladder man on the left. He's got a shield. Big shields. Pretty big. They are in like a fetal position behind these shields. They are hiding behind them. Their job is to... Okay, there's two ways of doing this. You could have one person on each side and they stay stationary, and their job is just to defend the ladder. I don't think this is the best way to do it, but it is a way to do it. And then the person in the middle is going up. All right, plus sides, minus sides. Right now, for every rung, you've got 3 people, roughly speaking. Anywhere from 2 to 3 people, depending on if the middle person is going through or not, right? Don't like this, okay? Everyone has to do some work. So what we're going to do instead is I'm going to just erase this guy. I know I took a leg out. It's going to be hard to keep maintain 3 points of contact with only one leg. All right, these guys are now going to go up, okay? We have a conveyor belt system. I've got more and more of them coming up right now, okay? We have this double conveyor. We have now increased the survivability of each of these sections. Now, if I want to free up, oh my gosh, I made his arms coming out of his legs. He's got his Jimmy no torso over here. Okay, bring you up. Okay, all right. And so on and so forth. More stick figure people of varying proportions. It kind of looks like a peace symbol there. A little ironic. Not going to lie. God does love irony, I think. Very small head on that one. That's a good thing. I think if you're having projectiles thrown at you, that's a good thing to have. And you just got more and more, and they're just conga lining up. Both sides, 2 person per rung. The ladder can be built and engineered to support that. You can make that into a process. You can test that. If you've got a forest nearby, you can do that. You can do drills where you have a you can either lay the ladder down on the ground and do like a mock, going up over the top, a mock escalade, as it's called. Escalade is when you go over the top here. Escalate, and then the aid is for a military maneuver. So escalade. You could do a mock trial like that. I've seen that done before. Okay. If you could find some sort of mock wall that actually has something like a cliff or something that's of similar height, you could have people doing this drill. You can have a special ladder that's just for that drill too. Which could be a different height, built for a different height. So if you've got some sort of cliff feature, you can dig a cut out of a hill and practice this. Like, really drill the heck out of this. Now, this is stuff that's not going to get written down necessarily in all these historical journals. I'm just sort of surmising this and opining on this as like, what would I do if I was in this situation? Now, the nobles probably don't care. You're probably talking about like sergeants, the equivalent of like NCOs. They're the ones who are figuring stuff out. I mean, have you ever worked a job where every detail wasn't really thought out? It was kind of like, okay, you guys on the ground just figure it out. And you come up with entire systems of doing things. Let's say you're going door to door and selling. They're not telling you the sales pitch necessarily, or the sales pitch they tell you is terrible. It's like suicidal. Like, you're going to lose every sale if you sales pitch this way, right? You're going to come up with your own stuff, or you're going to die, right? Figuratively speaking, you're going to not be able to do your job. These peasants, people of low-born stock, probably thought their way out of it. There was probably like a good village leader or someone who was very smart, and everyone fell behind them, kind of like a union, kind of like the workers would fall behind a union boss, and they'd come up with these drills and be like, "We're going to survive this, boys. We're going to survive this. We're going to be working together. I've got a system." And guess what? They don't know how to write or read. So that's not making it to the records. And some butthead noble on a hill a mile away is just gonna like look at this and be like, yeah, that looks about right. I'll just go tell the artist when I get home what happened. They put ladders up. Ladders? Yeah, ladders. Yeah, they put them up. Whatever. They went over the top and they got the castle. No, this conveyor belt system is going to protect everyone. The guys at the top have a very special job, okay? The guys at the top need to hold their shield up, right? Totally not to scale. I know it. Hold their shield up and do like a like Sparta 300 style shield wall at the very top, okay? And then people are going to funnel in through the middle. So these guys at the top are not going to move, because if you start moving, you're going to start getting shot at. You need to keep that solid. The guys at the top, maybe the second guy, their job, and I'm going to draw this in green here. Their job, the second guy, is to have rope. Everyone could have rope on one shoulder. So you got rope on one shoulder, shield in the other hand, right? Everyone's going up. Maybe the first 6 guys have rope. It's thick rope. This is like mooring rope. This is for boats. It's for holding sails up. It's really strong rope. You're just going to lash this over, right? You're just going to lash this and then just have that looped onto the ladder. Hooks and stuff are great and all, but I feel like hooks can have a malfunction. Things go wrong when you're in a fight. Rope has really high tensile stress, and it is pretty difficult to undo a rope if you have a bunch of them, especially if you knot them. You can put the rope in, and then once you get this real estate up here, you can have someone just hammer a chisel, like a stake, into the rock just above where the ropes are lashed, and now you can't pull the ropes up. So even if they get the real estate back, it's going to be really difficult to repel that ladder. So you can continue getting reinforcements. These guys at the top, once these secondary guys, which I'm going to go ahead and let's use blue. Once these secondary guys do their rope, they get through, they get the real estate. People start. I don't know what the military maneuver for it is called. I don't know if it's like a défilé or something like that. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. By the way, hit me in the comments and just tell me I'm wrong about stuff and then support it, okay? Because I really like getting corrected. Negative feedback is what I thrive on. These guys would bound, right? So one group, so the guys at the top of the ladder hold their line. Guys in the middle will use that space in the middle. By the way, this space in the middle is very important. It's for people to advance or for injured people to go back down. All right, so or someone who has got a message, or you just need to move away from a rock or something. These guys at the very top, their job is to make sure that rocks that are getting thrown at you don't hit you. Now, I said that this is going to be in a moat, and I have not forgotten that. But the point I just wanted to make is that people are going to bound. Guys at the very top are going to hold that space. Guys are going to come in between. They're going to now take a little bit more space, a little bit more space, a little bit more space. There's going to be some fighting if they need to do fighting. But if I was defending a castle, I probably don't want to get into a fight. I'm going to keep my bow, and I'm going to cede that ground because there are probably other kill spots to shoot at them from. If this is a well-designed castle, I'd imagine there might be some central keep. Or there's a sight line to another parapet or something or whatever. I'm not a castle expert, okay? I'm just an engineer, and I think like an engineer, which means I pretty much can just be thrown at whatever situation. Now, this moat. Moats are difficult, okay? If I was a crazy son of a gun, a wily goat engineer, who, by the way, engineers are the most blue-collar of white-collars. We get paid like nobles, but we live like peasants. It's pretty incredible. Like, you'll see engineers just getting, like, knee-deep in the mud. You're not going to see a lawyer just, like, maintaining a farm or getting covered in like engine grease. But an engineer, flip a coin. There's a chance you might run into someone like that. All right. If I was a wily engineer, I would send my runner up in the middle of the night to go into the moat, assuming there's no crocodiles in it, which I'm pretty sure is a myth. They go into the moat, and I need to get a measurement. I say, go in, like, I want you to go in, 20 paces into, like, away from the wall. So I need you to run up to the wall quietly, okay? So this is a stealth night mission, okay? I need you to go to the wall, and then I need you to walk, like, 20 paces back. So forget these marks I made just here. That was dumb. You don't want to measure it. You want to measure it from the wall because I need to know the placement, okay? All right, so 20 paces, roughly. This young boy, because whoever it is, needs to be spry, quick, and sneaky, and small. Because I need them to do this very quietly, and I need them to be a little bit adaptable. So I'm going to drill this young boy on how to do pace counting, because there is a bit of a technique to that, but it's not too hard. All right, so let's say you're 20 paces. You're 20 paces from the wall, okay? I just made that number up. I don't know if it was 20 paces or not. I'm just saying a number. And now I need you to check the depth of this moat, okay? So I'm going to do that in blue. Check the depth of this moat by taking this, a stick or a rope or something. Just try to stick it down. If I didn't bring you enough stick or rope or something went wrong, then by all means, we're going to do it another night. Okay, sieges last a long time. I don't know if you know this. There's a lot of nights. Okay, so once we know the depth of this, I now know how to correct my ladder, right? And I might have them take multiple depths. Like every pace, what's the depth? What's the depth? And we're going to have some sort of landmark, like, there's a scuff mark on the castle wall. That's where we want to put one of our ladders, right? There might be another, some other mark. If I was a really smart castle designer, I'd probably put those scuff marks strategically to trick people into putting ladders there. People can be very easily manipulated unconsciously in ways that are really difficult to really appreciate. Like, you can put a drawing of a fly in a men's urinal, and to control where men will pee, because we will instinctively go for the fly. We're not even thinking; it just happens. The kind of things that you can do with audiovisual cues can really affect the outcome of what people do. People think they think on their own, and they like came with an idea by themselves. It usually doesn't happen, right? It's usually influenced in some way subtly. And if you can hack into that influence, then you can really overcome some stuff. Anyways, so now I know the length of the ladder that I need to put in, right? I know the depth that it's going to have to go into the water. Now I can either do a calculation of how much earth do I need to bring, like how much rocks and earth, so I can fill this in, or I can just have the ladder be longer to compensate. If I do the earth filling method, I got to know the depth along the entire way back here, right? That's not great. Like the entire length back, that's not super great. I do need to know a few ways back because the ladder's going to keep extending back. So I'm going to need to know at least a few depths on the way back. Either way, okay. So either way, I am going to then have like a floating platform, like a little dock, like just a really quick little dock. It's just a piece of wood, really. So I'm going to have my team run in with the ladder. I'm going to have someone place the ladder. We're going to put the ladder down, right? We're going to have somebody else running with the planks to that float, and they're going to hook them on the bottom of the ladder rung here. So this is going to extend a little bit. I'm then going to have this team is now like running up the ladder. So I want to build this ladder so that I can do it with feet only if I need to. So these timbers are going to be shaved down to make a nice flat surface, because you can run up a ladder. Anybody who's done contracting before or ever like done home improvement with very long ladders, or gone up to a platform with a long ladder, there's this fine line between a ladder, a step ladder, and just a stairwell. It's really, they're not that different. So I'd prefer, if I was doing this, I'd prefer to make it like handhold optional and make it so that each of these rungs is easily steppable, right? You can easily step. There's nothing wrong with having more rungs, and it gives you a little bit more, it adds to the weight a little bit, but it might increase stability. So these timbers, by the way, on these sides could be some serious timbers. But we got a lot of guys to carry it. So the idea is that what we're going to do is when we place this thing down, so I'm just going to use this piece over here. When we place this thing down, it's going to start out, like, let's say this is the fulcrum. When it start out, it's going to be a little bit like this, right? That's not good, okay? But that's the way that you put ladders down. Think of like the Iwo Jima guys. They put the a flag down at a certain angle and then they raised it up, all right? That's not the best way to raise something up, because you can only get so many people holding on to it. You also remember those Iwo Jima flag guys. There's like, it seemed like that was pretty crowded. It was like the one guy on the end, how much flag are you really hauling up? Like you got to climb over top of people to get to where you want. But you can come in with some pole arms, some sort of hooked things. I'm just going to draw it like that, little hook things like that. And it might be the same kind of stick that you'd use to rappel a ladder. And that's going to go down to the guy with the stick figure man. If I could get his limbs on right, whatever, that's close enough. He looks like he's got he's got some saggy pants. I mean, peasants had saggy pants for sure. Why not? Just gonna draw another peasant, right? So these guys are going, they're doing their thing. That's Johnny Longneck over there. He's a little bit, they call him Donkey. Anyways, you got guys with ropes, right? So you got a guy with a rope here. He's pulling it. He's doing work. He's doing some work. He's got no neck. This is Jimmy No Neck. Everyone's Jimmy, by the way. At least they are to me. I'm the engineer. Okay, I don't need to learn people's names. All right. So these guys are gonna run in, and they need to get that ladder placed in the spot exactly where it's supposed to be. All right, because I also want my runner to tell me how many paces back to the shore this is, because back to the shore is the reference point that the ladder team needs, okay? So the number of paces there. Run in, put the ladder down, tip the ladder over. Guy with the rope is pulling it, okay? And guess where a guy with the rope is going to go? Actually, let me undo that. Guy with the rope is still there. He's still doing his job, okay? Guy with the rope. Right there. And him and his team are holding this ladder down, right? And they are keeping it from getting repelled during the initial stage. Okay, now and you got another guy, because people could be throwing rocks at them. If this is the initial stage, you got another guy who's just holding a shield for him. Now, I just drew one guy pulling a rope and one guy holding a shield. Expand that, scale it, make it more efficient. Those are details as far as I'm concerned. If you want 20 guys holding planks of wood above, like this sort of makeshift barn door like shields, and then like 50 guys holding ropes down, that's fine. The engineer will know how many ropes this can take, right? The engineer will know. You could take these ropes and put them down into stakes if you're smart, once you've gotten this thing in place, because everything with the human body is going to make this thing faster, okay? The more fixed it is in place, that's more time for prep. So you're ramming through with this dock Once you have this little dock in place, you're then going to plant the ladder. You're going to lean the ladder over just like this. Ladder's going to go over, hit the wall. The guys might already be climbing up the thing as soon as it's sloping, to assist it. But probably it's going to hit the wall before they start climbing up. I wouldn't want to get on a moving ladder. I wouldn't advise it. It seems like an unnecessary way to injure yourself. All right, so now we're all rushing up this ladder. If we need to, we can put rocks down below to stabilize, because this might be mud and silt and the ladder will start to sink. So if we need a team of people to carry bushels of rocks and just dump them in that spot, that's going to change the depth, yeah, sure, but it's not going to change it that much. We just need something like to hold on to and to grab onto when we do this. We might even just put like a piece of wood down below, like just a piece of wood with some rocks to weight it down, and that piece of wood is like a big plank. I'm a big fan of planks right now. I don't know, I'm plank favor, and those plank just has a like V notches in it, so that when the ladder hits that V notch, you can kind of find it and then tip it over. And that way you have teams that have very specific jobs. One thing that you're doing when you're engineering a team, because teams are just meat machines, multi-member meat machines is a team, okay? When you have a meat machine like this, every piece of it has to have one simple job, okay? One simple job. The more jobs you give someone, the worse they are at all of them. That is a fact, okay? So someone's going to have a job who knows where to put the rocks. They know where to put these rocks, okay? That's someone's job, whether it's the rocks or the plank with the V groove, okay? Someone else's job is to then place that stuff, right? Okay, so now people are placing it. And that might be multiple people, especially if it's rocks and you got multiple things, right? Actually, let's go into that plank, okay? Because I kind of like that idea. So here's the V groove. Let's start with that. That's the main feature of it. If you have this thing, you can have spikes coming out the bottom of it. So you're like really anchoring it down into the silt. Now you can't guarantee what angle, because the angle of the angle of it is going to depend on the angle of the Earth. So if it's like that, this is gonna. Oh, I know, I activated the Windows thing again. I'll tell you what. Let me make this a non-issue. There we go. This is going to settle down as to match with the Earth, but we really don't care. We're just using this as placement. We might even have someone with a something to fasten it down. We might have some loops or something, or some turnbuckles or something that we can then tie rope to, and then tie that rope to the ladder. These are issues that this is what engineers will sit around and drinking beers and having arguments over the tiniest freaking details. Like, well, that turnbuckle isn't rated for that weight. I don't think it can do that. I'd really like to see that demonstrated. I've seen this done before. I was like, well, I haven't, and I don't think it's going to work. And you just go back and forth, and that's when we're calling some random peasant assistant and be like, peasant, we need you to cut a V groove into a piece of wood, place it down with spikes, at an angle about this much, and take the test ladder and the boys and do drills with it. Yeah. Oh, it's 2 a.m? I don't care. You don't. Who said it's 2 a.m? It's just at night. Me and my boys just started drinking. Engineers get paid pretty well for this sort of stupid crap. I just referred to human beings as meat machines. I'm not entirely wrong, but it sure as heck doesn't feel right, does it? All right, let me whoops. Let me go ahead and move this drawing down now that I've changed my window. All right. So, boys run in. We already have the scouted location. Might even use the same scout for the job because he needs a job still. His old job of finding the pacing is done. He's now going to have us play. He's now going to sit there with a flag, stick the flag into the lake or whatever, the moat. Sorry. He's then going to tell everyone, all right, place the rocks, place the rocks, place the rocks, place the rocks. Rocks in, or the ladder anchor. Boom, that's in. By the way, no noble cares about this. That's another thing, is that most people who are financing this sort of stuff, the ones who pay for all the art and pay for the very expensive books to be written and the manuscripts to be made, don't give a darn how the technology works. Does Steve Jobs really care about the details of the Bluetooth protocol? Don't think so. I mean, when he was alive, he didn't. Does Bill Gates really care necessarily? Like once he's already become a billionaire, the intricacies of the link listing in the spreadsheet? No, they don't, because he doesn't care about the details on that. That's someone else. That's the engineer's problem, right? So no one writes it down. You're not gonna have Bill Gates go in there and give a TED talk on the efficiency, the code efficiencies of Excel. That's not going to happen. Assuming there are code efficiencies. All right, so these are just things that I would think of, okay? So I'm doing a little bit of regressive history. Also, this stuff is going to wear away pretty quickly. I just put that into the water. All right, ladder's up. All right, so we've found the spot. We put the anchor. We've brought the dock, because you kind of need the dock to help people actually walk over the water. The dock is in. Anchor the dock down. Just use screws and stakes. I'm not going to overthink that at the moment. I've overthought so much already. Boys are going to get to the end of the dock. They're going to see the flag. They're going to stick the ladder down. There's a guy there to receive the ladder to sort of shimmy it into place properly. Okay? It's in place. He puts the rope through it. Turnbuckle's good. Ladder goes over the top. Boys are pulling. You know, people are patting each other on the back to let each other know, like, all right, time to go. If you ever see, like, a squad do a room clearing, like an army squad, it's going to be a little bit like that. It's going to be a little bit like that. Like, okay, my job is done. To the next guy. All right, now I'm going to do my specific job. Okay, my specific job is done. All right, next guy. All right, okay. And then up the ladder, up, go. It's that kind of excitement. Like, go. Guy gets to the top with his shield. His shield is up, right? He's defending the front. He stops. He leans over to the side. He lets people go through between them, right? So now people are going in between. He's just defending the side. People are going through. They're gonna come through with their shield like this. Shields like this. They're gonna fold that shield back in like that to go in between the two guys. They're gonna pop the shield back out and then spread out to the side. It's gonna be tactical. It's gonna look really cool, and it's also gonna be just that's how you bound. Okay, so once they've bounded and you've got guys now in the castle, they're going to stand straight towards the camera here. They got their shield. They're holding it. They're very proud of their shields. For some reason, the marker's not working. There we go. Other guy. I think it's getting caught up on the stupid markings here. I never want to add anyone to my stupid whiteboard. Unless Lindy Beige wants to go do a whiteboard session. So, heading off straight towards the camera. Guys with shields, forming a shield wall. Now we've got... These are all just people with shields, and they got like a sword or a knife or something, maybe, and they're a couple of spear guys, maybe. I think it's more important to take this territory quickly. I don't want a protracted fight. If I do 4 of these ladders, and the defenders are like less than 100 people, we could probably pop these ladders up really quick all around the castle, and then one of them is going to succeed, and we're going to have people pouring through in that castle, okay? And then then the defenders from the other spots that weren't viable before are going to have to shift over because there's an actual incursion on one side. They're going to have to shift over to defend that, and that makes the other spots more viable, right? You know, we just try again. We're going to have a couple of backup spots. All right, there's going to be some very disappointed runners when we don't end up using their spot. Because, like, okay, that spot was too hot. We're going to go to spot B. All right, the runner for that one is going to run over and flag spot B. You know, all that stuff. I mean, those flags might even be there the night before we do the ladders. Although that would kind of tip off the enemy if they wake up one night and see a flag, like, bobbing in the moat. They'd be like, oh, uh-oh. Wake everybody up. Cancel breakfast. Let's go. If I was going to siege, I would siege like right after breakfast. Ruin a best meal of the day, my behind. Get ready for it. All right, once these guys get through and this conveyor belt of flesh goes up, where these guys can shift over, they've staked their ropes. They may have even like hammered into the masonry. Why not? They're going up, and that's the way I would do a medieval ladder siege. That's how I'd do it. Comment below what you thought. I do love to overthink things. I do love to go on, and I do love to do a little bit of forensics of like what would a siege look like. This one is mostly just dependent on you having a system of mathematics that is, you know, sufficient to have an engineer class. You have to have a very patient peasant class, but that's the great thing about patient peasants is that they're just so patient, except for the French ones. Well, I guess they're under some bad conditions. I'm not going to give them too much guff. And you need big shields. Other than Japan, I don't think there are a lot of cultures that didn't have big old shields. It seemed like big shields was kind of a safe bet. Strong timbers. So that's all you need. You know, whether the timbers are made out of gigantic oak or they're made out of bundled bamboo. However you want to do it. If you bundle bamboo, by the way, that's really strong. This would be easy peasy with bundled up bamboo. Yeah. Sounds like we got a system here. I'm ready to... I'm disappointed that I won't be sieging any castles this year. But if you ever do need someone to siege a castle, make sure to drop a like down at the Alex Manassa below. Hit subscribe if you want to see me overthink other things and support my channel, which is fledgling. I think I've got like single digits subscriptions, which I'm thankful for. I'm glad that anyone watches these. And I really love doing them, so I'm just going to keep doing it. I took a little bit of a break, found a new church, really like them. Getting in touch with my family, all that stuff. You know, politics kind of consumes you for a little bit, but you got to take a step back and focus on what's really important. And apparently this is important. I'm spending time on it. This is a moment of deep reflection now will ensue. All right, this has been a lot of fun, and I will see you guys next time, whenever that is. I hope you'll join me for it. All right, you guys have a great day. All right, bye.